Welcome to Cryptocurrency 101 and why you should be involved. Hi, I'm Paul Groon. Couple of questions to start with. Do you trust the government, especially today? Do you trust the government's fiscal policy? Are you aware of the fiscal policy and our government's history of that? Here's an interesting chart coming up. This is a government-produced slide. If you weren't aware, the Federal Reserve Bank, that's an interesting name all by itself, federal. It's not a branch or part of the government. It's not a bank that you can deposit or withdraw money from. But it was created in 1914 with the idea, as you can see here, to manage the country's money supply. Well, how well have they done that? Created in 1914, a dollar could buy you so much, and 5 years later, it now costs twice as much to buy whatever you wanted. Welcome to our government. The stock market crashed in 1929, and because we had our dollar backed in gold, you could actually take your money to the bank and get gold for it. So in the Depression, people were hoarding gold, which caused the government problems. So Roosevelt in 1933 criminalized the possession of individuals owning gold. You had to turn it into the government. They bought it from you. Once they had the whole supply, they raised the price of gold. Surprise, surprise. After World War II, we went back to the gold standard, but we got off it in 1971 with the Vietnam War and Nixon getting us off the gold standard to pay for the war, which caused inflation, which we're seeing happen today as well. So, as Ronald Reagan so aptly put it, the government isn't the answer, the government is the problem. Which is actually what led to the development of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. What we have now since 1971 is fiat currency. Now, it's not talking about the Italian car maker. Fiat is Latin, simply meaning by decree. So the government said a dollar is worth a dollar. As long as you trust the government, so be it. But we've seen the value of the dollar decline. We've had a number of financial crashes over the centuries. The worst one lately was in 2008, where banks and large financial lending institutions were considered too big to fail, and the government bailed them out. But the government didn't bail them out. The government doesn't have any money. It was our money. It's the taxpayers' money, and the taxpayers are basically screwed by this. We bailed out the banks. So in the end of 2008, there was a paper written about a way of democratizing money so it wasn't centralized or controlled by the government. And in it was January 2009, Bitcoin was released, which allows people to be dealing with people without having a third party or a central authority controlling it all. So Bitcoin was the first successful cryptocurrency, but now it's June 2022. There are over 19,000 different cryptocurrencies. Now, the vast majority of them are sham coins that they've died. It's really only 100 or so that are really going to have any long-term value and last. So one needs to be very, very careful. There are literally shams out there. But Bitcoin and some of the highly valued cryptocurrencies are a good buy. So what's been the trend of Bitcoin? Now here is a website you can go to that's really interesting, and you can see what is referred to as the rainbow chart, obvious name with this, but don't take those colored lines too literally. If you read the website, you'll see those lines were developed by one guy. There's no scientific basis behind them, but they are considered quite useful. So in 2009 and early 10, the value of Bitcoin was less than $1. But within time, it did go up to $2,000. That's a significant jump. Value did go down. I'm not going to go into the details of the halving that happens every 4 years in mining. There's lots of details behind Bitcoin. But the value cycles over time. It did go down, but then in 2018 it went up to $20,000, and then it went down. It's, you know, the little peak there, and then the low value 2019, it was in March of 2020. The value was $5,000. A year and a quarter later, it was $68,000, but you can see now the value has gone down. Currently, it's June 2022. Just saw this morning the value is down to 27,000. So you just need to understand the cyclic nature of this, but it is going to go up. And if you look at the overall pattern, it's a logarithmic chart. It'll go up to 200, 300,000. Some people are predicting even higher than that. It's just understanding the cyclic nature of the beast. So it's an investment, but how might it compare to other traditional investments that people are more familiar with? So we'll do what's called dollar cost averaging, DCA. And you can go to this website. It's a really cool website, and you can play around, put in different values. In this example that I've got the slide built on, let's assume we're going to put in $100 a month. Anybody could afford that. And we'll do it over 3 years, every month. So we have a $3,600 total investment over the last 3 years. And if we put it into the stock market, it would have gone up over 18%. That certainly makes sense. Realistic, good investment. 3 years, that's a pretty nice improvement. What about gold? Well, gold went up, but not quite as much, less than 5%. You think about the cost of inflation, is like, is that really worth it at all? If you put it in Bitcoin, it went up almost by a factor of 3, close to 200%. It's like, whoa, that's a big change. So it's an investment opportunity, and you can buy things with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So what is actually the purchasing power, and how has this changed over time? Thinking back again of that rainbow chart. Well, the first well-known purchase of Bitcoin was in 2010. The guy spent 10,000 Bitcoin, valued less than $1, to buy 2 large pizzas. And every year, the cryptocurrency kind of has a party when about the date, the anniversary of these 2 pizzas. 6 years later, 100 Bitcoin can buy you a really nice car. 6 months later, 10 Bitcoin can buy you a really nice house. It's an investment opportunity. Now, there are naturally going to be the naysayers and the people who say it's a scam, it's a pyramid scheme. But who are you going to take advice from, financial advice from? Wealthy people or your friend who's poor? So a couple well-known billionaires, Bill Miller said he considers it Bitcoin insurance against financial catastrophe, which a lot of people feel we are heading toward. He's saying you haven't missed the boat on crypto. In fact, excuse me for reading here, but compared to many other technological revolutions, the crypto revolution has really only just begun. Michael Saylor is a big proponent of Bitcoin. He said, I can quote this one, "Bitcoin is the most certain thing in an uncertain world." In the last 2 years, the U.S. money supply has expanded 36%. You know, our government's just printing money and it's led to inflation. Gold is up 7%. Standard & Poor's index up 29, the NASDAQ 19, and Bitcoin up over 200%. So if you can stomach the volatility and take the long-term view, Bitcoin is a safe haven. So how do you do this? And how do you not do this? Well, one thing not to do is not research, not understand the market, not educate yourself, and just have the FOMO, fear of missing out. So imagine it's March of 2020 and it's $5,000 for Bitcoin, and you hear and see it go up to 10, 20, 30, 40, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to miss out. So you put all your money into it at $50,000, not understanding it, and remember the rainbow chart, and it goes up to 60, you're happy, 68,000, you're ecstatic, but then you panic when you see it go to 65 and 60 and 50 and 40, and it's March, currently 2022, I'm sorry, it's June 2022, and currently this morning when I looked at it, the value was $27,000. So it's like, if you didn't understand this and you just panicked and sold everything, you think, oh, this is just a scam, it's worthless. You just didn't understand the market and you weren't in it long enough. So whatever you're going to do, you do need to have a strategy. Now, there is no one strategy. There's no best anything. It's just, it depends on the person. How much do you have to invest? What's your risk tolerance? How much time are you willing to spend doing this and educating yourself? How much money do you have? How much do you want to diversify your portfolio, whether it's in stocks or your bank or in crypto? That's a personal choice for everyone. Now, the easiest thing for conservative folks who don't want to spend a lot of time with this, don't want to watch the market, they just decide, okay, they'll do the dollar cost averaging like they do with stocks or gold or anything else. And you can put in whatever you want at whatever frequency you want, and that's certainly a conservative approach that works, and it's recommended in every book you'll ever read. For those who are willing and have the time to spend to educate themselves and watch the market a little closely, whether it's watch it daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, obviously the choice is we'll buy when it's low, sell when it's high, and those are relative terms because it's easy to look at the past and think, well, I should have bought there or sold there, but it's hard. Well, it's not really hard. There's ways of predicting where might it go, and there's technical analysis once you get into all this. It's going to be the minority of people who are willing to actually look at this on a frequent basis and do what's literally called day trading. Or there's other swing traders which just look at daily, weekly, monthly kind of trends and buy and sell when they feel it's appropriate. So again, it's a personal choice. It depends on the person. So how would you look at some of the value of the coins and things over time? Well, one type of chart is called a line chart, obvious name for it. You could look at the value over a day, a week, a month, a year, or the whole life of the coin. The line charts are typically based on the closing price of that commodity over in a day. But there's not a whole lot of detail here. Now, this is not a logarithmic chart, as the earlier one was, but it's showing the value of Bitcoin over a year. And you can see it fluctuates considerably. So you just need to understand and accept the volatility of the market, but it does trend up over time, well, up and down. Another type of chart is a candlestick chart, which shows a greater level of detail. Now, the candlesticks can be selected either in minutes, in hours, days, or more. Green candles show the price increasing over time. This particular chart is less than a day of a period. And green candles are when the price increases, red are when it decreases, and you can see there's wicks above and below, and you can see the size of the candles and the wicks varies to show how the prices vary during that period. A little more detail with that. So green candle is when the price has increased over that time period, again, which could be minutes or hours or days. So the prices increase, and the bottom of the candle shows the opening price, the top shows the closing price, but the value did vary during that period, even greater than that. So that's what the wicks are for. So it shows the lowest price during that period and the highest price. Red candle is just basically the opposite. So the price is decreased over that period, and there's the opening price. It closed lower. There's the closing price, but the price did vary over a greater value, so there's the high and the low during that period. So that's your crash course in understanding cryptocurrencies and why you might want to get involved and how to do that. But like any sort of investment, whether it's futures, Forex, foreign exchange, cryptocurrencies, stocks, or gold, or anything else, there is naturally risk involved. It's not suitable for everyone. Now, how might you do this? Well, I'm involved in a program in a company that has 10 completely different brand offerings, a couple of those being service offerings, one of them being the Akashics program, which is an education platform. There's tons of educational material, videos to watch, documents to read. The fourth link down there on the left, you see live crypto calls. Every week, there's 2 calls, hour-long each. And this is June 2022, so right now there is 8 months of all of these recordings that you can go back and watch. You can binge watch if you wish. It's over 60 hours of recordings. Tons of other things. With the live recordings, you can be asking questions and get into particular details and questions you might have. Now, there is the second line link there is the CoinZoom Academy. CoinZoom is the actual trading platform, the exchange, where you can buy, trade, and it's a bank actually. So, I mean, I have more money in that than I do in our traditional bank because there's a credit card that you can use and you can get up to 10% interest, which is more than you'll get from any particular bank. And with that credit card, Visa card, debit card, you can spend any of your cryptocurrency anywhere that accepts a Visa card. So there's all sorts of benefits and interesting features that this offers. This is a screen capture of the actual CoinZoom trading exchange where you can see the candlestick chart, so you can see where it's going up or down when you want to buy. The different coins can be selected on the upper left there. Then in the lower left, there's you can buy and sell. Here I'm not going to get into the details of market orders, limit orders, stop orders, one cancels the other type order, and all the other details shown here. But it's an easy exchange and platform to work with once you understand the basics. And there's, again, a whole educational system of how do you do this and how do you get your money into it and how do you actually do the trading and what are those different type of orders and such that I mentioned. So that's it. My name's Paul Gruen. If you've got further questions or would like more information, the first link there is my particular website. And if you go to, in the upper left, brands, you'll see Akashics is one of the 10 different brands that we have. And you can read and learn about the education platform and learn about the CoinZoom trading exchange. I also have a Facebook account and a LinkedIn account, and I've got a YouTube channel with all sorts of different videos. Feel free to contact me, subscribe to my channel, contact me with any questions you might have. I'm happy to help. So thanks for watching.